Hey, everybody, I just wanted to come to you and let you know about what day two looks like for me and the conversations I had up in Chilliwack. I got up early and went and drove down to the University of Simon Fraser there in town and prayed over the campus and looked at some of the neighborhoods and stopped by some of the new homes that were being built and ended up at this market not too far from there. And while I was standing in line, a woman approached me and asked if I was going to get something. And I said, no, I'm just kind of looking. And that started a conversation. Come to find out, this lady and her family had moved in from Holland back in the 80s to become farmers in the area. And Chilliwack used to be this large rural community, and it's just bloomed with a lot of the migration from Vancouver and the influx of immigrants. And now it's starting to feel more city-esque as a suburb of Vancouver. Um, and hopefully you'll get some more information about the shaping of Chilliwack as you follow along. And as I learn more, I want to make sure you guys get a good taste of what that's like. And then, but this conversation was really interesting because it opened up a few things for me to be aware of as an American coming up to the space. Is that they do have major concerns with how they're going to be treated coming into the States. It's not just a fear or disdain of the States, it's how things are being portrayed and genuine concern for how they will be treated at the border. This particular woman shared a story with me about how her husband, back in the 70s when he was younger, got caught crossing the border illegally with some things. And she's afraid that that's going to come back to bite her every time they ask about her coming into the States. And along with those types of worries, I just sit there and as an American want to make sure that I'm listening and hearing the heart of the people there. That's really what I wanted to do in these conversations anyway. And so it was a good opportunity to see that, especially from someone in an older generation. And then the other thing I was asking of her is, do you have a faith background? Is there anything with the Reformed Church in this area and she said that I find my peace here. And she pointed to the mountain and she just talked about how nature was really important for her to find her peace and that she didn't really rely on a faith or a religion to do so. But she did say that her son went to church. But that really gave me a pretty good insight. And I think it's reflective of that generation when I speak with relatives of mine on that age and their closed hearts towards religion. It is a little bit different from what it is like for my own generation and even my younger cousins, that they seem to be a little bit more open to explore that. They have friends who go to church, but for themselves and for that older generation, it's not interesting. But that was my first conversation. Stay along for part two.